clearly, I think Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, your time is coming faster than I had planned for.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's only that I heard you say Honorable Mugathe. I was wondering who is Honorable Mugathe in this house. But I think it was your pronunciation of the lady member's name, the Honorable lady from Lamu County. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this bill by the leader of majority, and indeed it comes at a very good time in trying to enhance what was enacted in 2013 on the Public-Private Partnerships Act. Honorable Speaker, it is creating very good, enhancing the efficiency in the regulatory process of how we engage private entities in this country to engage in what are otherwise public infrastructure projects. And this, in a way, Honorable Speaker, is one of the ways in which we are able to reduce our debt burden as a country, Honorable Speaker, and that is why I rise to support this bill. However, Mr. Speaker, we must be cognizant that we live in a country where state capture is not imagined. State capture in this country, Honorable Speaker, is so real that if we enact such acts and such laws, Honorable Speaker, without the necessary and requisite safeguards, then we will only be cementing the state capture that is already so real in this country, Honorable Speaker. If you look at it from the agricultural sector, Honorable Speaker, our farmers, Honorable Speaker, today are crying in poverty. Not because they don't produce, Honorable Speaker, but because they produce and they have their goods get to markets, but the entire value chain, Honorable Speaker, right from production to goods on supermarket shelves, is a value chain, Honorable Speaker, that has been taken hostage by monopolistic cartels, Honorable Speaker, in this country. We must therefore be careful that we do not enact such laws to further entrench the state capture of all sectors of our economy. The only sector, Honorable Speaker, that is yet to be taken over by state capture is the infrastructure sector. And it is capital intensive, therefore it makes sense, Honorable Speaker, and justifiably a process of public-private partnerships all over the world is what governments around the world are using to reduce the debt burden, because you get a private entity, they come and bring in their finance, their expertise, and they're able to deliver projects in a timely manner. And therefore, it is good that the government is looking at ways of enhancing efficiency in how we deliver public-private partnerships. But these PPP projects, Honorable Speaker, this House must stand firm to ensure that these PPP projects are done in the most transparent and accountable manner, Honorable Speaker. If you look at some of the objects of the bill, Honorable Speaker, talks to issues that have got to do with direct procurement, Honorable Speaker. And every time I see questions to do with direct procurement, Honorable Speaker, I shudder. Because this is usually the genesis of corruption in this country. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, when the time comes, we will be looking at some of these issues that touch on direct procurement, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that we tighten, that this will not be used as avenues for corruption, Honorable Speaker. It is good members are mentioning, and I've heard the Chief Whip mention the issue of the expressway from JKIA to ABC in Westlands, Honorable Speaker. But how transparent was that process, Honorable Speaker? How open was that process of identifying who the contractor of that project is? The issues you hear members raising. How did we ensure that there is actual and tangible local contact in that project, Honorable Speaker? Because if you look at the people, right from the people sweeping the roads, the streets, Honorable Speaker, are Chinese casual workers. Where is the local content in this project, Honorable Speaker? Who are the beneficiaries? Is it really the Chinese contractor that you see on the road? Or are there local faces hiding behind the expressway project, Honorable Speaker? We hear now, Honorable Speaker, we are moving towards PPP projects of KWS game reserves. This is our land, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, this is the land that our forefathers and our fathers fought for against the Mzungu, our colonial masters. Are we going to see other new black colonial masters today, Honorable Speaker? People who already took enough of our land. Use these PPP projects, Honorable Speaker, and use laws that have been enacted in this House to further take away more of our land to benefit private individuals and private entities, Honorable Speaker. We must be careful, Honorable Speaker. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, I say, as we move to the third reading, I will be bringing amendments to ensure that we protect not just our KWS land, that we also protect all public land in this country, Honorable Speaker. There are those after the colonialists left, Honorable Speaker, that took probably, if not half, more than half of this country, of all productive land, Honorable Speaker. But it was productive in agriculture, Honorable Speaker. Today, there are new avenues of using land as a factor of production, Honorable Speaker, to generate income. Be it from mining, Honorable Speaker, be it in the conservatory and wildlife reserves that we are seeing in KWS, Honorable Speaker, be it the huge water reservoir resources in Turkana or the oil reservoir in Turkana, Honorable Speaker, be it wind power in Marsabit, where maybe in yesteryears, Honorable Speaker, on the solar energy in Garissa, Honorable Speaker, where in yesteryears land in those areas was considered to be valueless and meaningless. But with increase in technological advancement around the world, Honorable Speaker, land that previously was not very valuable, today, Honorable Speaker, is very valuable. You will see people coming to take huge chunks of land in Marsabit because of wind power, or huge chunks of land in northern Kenya because of solar power, Honorable Speaker, or the water reservoirs in Turkana and elsewhere, Honorable Speaker. And that is why I'm saying we must jealously guard our public assets so that we do not, in a way, auction part of our country and more so our most important and primary factors of production, like land, Honorable Speaker. That tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, we will not have expressways running from Westlands to JKIA, Honorable Speaker, or Mlolongo, at an expense to the Kenyan taxpayer, at a time, Honorable Speaker, where if you, and you have traveled, Mr. Speaker, and many members in this House have traveled on what you call benchmarking trips. I hope those in the transport sector, transport committee had benchmarked in how expressways are done around the world. I have never seen an expressway anywhere in the world, Honorable Speaker, where you come and find a road corridor that had 3 lanes and at times 4 lanes on either side of the road, and you come and shrink that passage below here so that you get people to use the expressway above at a cost. Those are some of the issues, Honorable Speaker, that we must make sure that this House is able to interrogate. And I want to bring amendments, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that for every public-private partnership deal that goes through, this House must have a say, Honorable Speaker. We must not allow those in the executive to use their positions of power and privilege, Honorable Speaker, to amass more wealth through the disguise of public-private partnerships. And that is why I said, Honorable Speaker, in this country, state capture is not imagined. It is real. There are those who have quadrupled their wealth just by virtue of being in office in the executive, Honorable Speaker. We must make sure that we stop that as this House, as the people's representatives, by protecting what are public assets, by ensuring that public-private partnerships, Honorable Speaker, are procured and are done in a way that is transparent, is accountable, and one that enhances the value that Kenyans will derive out of those projects. And also ensure, Honorable Speaker, that whatever projects we do, we are not committing public assets into private hands forever. All over the world, Honorable Speaker, 20 years to 25 years at most are enough for PPPs. And therefore, we must also ensure that whatever project a private entities coming to get into is a project that in about 15 to 20 years, they're able to exit and give that asset back to the Kenyan people, because these are public assets that belong to the Kenyan people. With that, Honorable Speaker, I support, but express my intention, Honorable Speaker, to bring amendments at the right time. And I hope the Leader of Majority has just walked out. I heard him committing Nyandarua that if they lost the Rorie ward seat, he would resign. I hope he will not have resigned by then. If he will not have resigned, I hope he will support the amendments that will safeguard the sanctity of our public assets, Honorable Speaker. And I do beg Honorable Kimunya, please not to resign, or not to swear that he would rather die than resign, since the seat is gone and they are about to lose the Juja one. And let me congratulate the people of Juja, Bonchari, and Rorie ward, Honorable Speaker, and the entire Hasla Nation. And also congratulate the ODM party for also standing firm against the intimidation of state police and tell those that intend to continue using violence that, Honorable Speaker, they have been lying to us that BBI is what will cure ethnic and electoral violence.
Honorable Ichung'wa, where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? Honorable Mutua, I am sure the two members can talk. They are neighbors. Honorable Mutua, in the meantime, let us be listening to Honorable Mutua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support this bill. This is a very important bill, even though, Honorable Speaker, I have identified a number of gaps which I will be intending to bridge them by bringing in amendments during third reading. Honorable Speaker, I say so because it's very important. Public-private partnerships that have always been used to siphon